Look down at your car's speedometer. If you can see it right now, you will probably notice numbers like 140, 160, or maybe even 180 miles per hour. But here is the one thing. If you actually tried to push your normal car anywhere close to that speed, you probably would not feel like a race car driver. You would feel the whole car shaking, struggling, and almost begging you to slow down. Most normal cars can only reach around 110 or 120 miles per hour. Many cars are even limited to lower speeds by computer systems. So here's the mystery. Why would car companies put huge numbers on the dashboard that your car can never even reach? You have probably looked at that dial thousands of times and never questioned it. But it is not a mistake. It is not a design error. It is a choice. A very carefully planned choice. And by the end of this story, you will never look at your speedometer the same way again. Because the real reason has very little to do with the engine. It has everything to do with your brain. Let's start with the easiest answer first. The first reason is money. Car companies do not create a completely new speedometer for every single car. Instead, they make one design and use it in many different models. Imagine a car company sells a cheap, slow version of a car and also sells a powerful, sporty version. The fast version might actually be able to reach 160 miles per hour. Instead of making two different speedometers, the company can just make one with big numbers and use it in both cars. Your normal car gets the same dashboard as its faster, more expensive cousin. It saves money. Simple. But money is only part of the story. There is something much more interesting happening. Imagine your speedometer only went up to your car's real maximum speed. Let's say your car could only reach 120 miles per hour. Every time you drove on a highway, the needle would be sitting very close to the end of the dial. It would look crowded and harder to read. So designers do the opposite. They make the speedometer go much higher. This pushes normal driving speeds like 30, 60, and 70 miles per hour into the middle area of the dial. And the middle is the easiest place for your eyes to read. But there is another hidden effect. When the needle is sitting comfortably in the middle, your brain feels relaxed. It feels like the car is not working hard. But imagine the same 70 miles per hour was almost at the end of the speedometer. Your brain would think, am I pushing this car too much? So the big numbers do two jobs. They make the speed easier to read, and they make normal driving feel smoother and safer. But we still have not reached the biggest reason. This is the part car companies do not usually talk about. Here is a clue. In some places, like parts of Germany's Autobahn, there are sections where there is no speed limit. Cars can actually use those very high speeds. Car companies sell the same models around the world, so one speedometer design works everywhere. But that still does not explain something. Why keep those huge numbers in places where nobody is allowed to drive that fast? The answer is simple. Because of how those numbers make you feel. A speedometer showing 160 miles per hour quietly tells your brain a story. This car is powerful. This car is fast. This car can do more than I need. You probably will never drive at 160 miles per hour. The company knows that. You know that. But every time you sit inside the car, that big number is sitting there, like a promise. It creates a feeling of power. It makes an ordinary family car feel more exciting. It makes you imagine that there is a powerful machine hiding under the hood. You paid for that feeling, even if you never use all that power. And we know this idea works because someone once tried the opposite. In America, during the early 1980s, the government made car companies create speedometers that stopped at 85 miles per hour. The reaction was terrible. People felt like their cars had become weak, boring, and less exciting. But the engines had not changed. The cars were exactly the same. Only the number on the dashboard changed. And because people felt differently about the cars, the rule was removed a few years later. The machine stayed the same. Only the feeling changed. So that small speedometer is doing two jobs. It makes you feel like your car is stronger than it really is. And at the same time, it helps you feel calm while driving at normal speeds. It was never only measuring your car. It was also managing your emotions. And once you notice this trick, you start seeing it everywhere. A blender with 10 speed settings, even though you only use 3. A microwave that counts up to 99 minutes. Numbers that you will probably never use. They are there for one reason: to make the things you own feel more powerful and more capable. So next time you look at that 160 on your speedometer, you will know the truth. Your engine may never reach that number, but your imagination already has. And that is exactly what they were selling. And if you're interested in watching, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.